Hello everybody, welcome to my first ever video. This is my third time remaking this, hopefully the last time. And we're gonna be going over my weekly recaps. And so, our first trade of the week was OMH. At 4 a.m. there was a very, very crazy pop from 80 cents all the way to 124. I'd seen this right here where shorts entered. As you can see, shorts enter on this stock all the time. But the moment that breaks, usually, there's always an incredible pop. Obviously, you have to look at the time in sales, and you have to look at the sentiment and make sure that you're not going to get bull trapped. But a lot of the times, you will get very nice returns off of these. And so, I alerted this at around 4 in the morning. It took about 8 hours for this to finally break above. And, we got our pop past 132, and it kept halting over and over and over again. And so I was like, if you hadn't entered this, do not enter because of all the halts. I thought she was completely done. I thought we were going to get maybe 10% out of this. She squeezed all the way up to 325. We got 144% off of this trade. Very, very nice trade. This strategy is what I like to call a point of pain break. Very, very, very simple strategy, very effective. And so if you need a new strategy for your arsenal, I'd highly recommend this. The second trade we took on Monday was KNW. We took this trade right here. This was a very, very long VSA candle. It was a bearish VSA candle. It's basically like an arrow. It points out where it's going. And so if it's pointing up, it's going to be bullish. If it's pointing down, it's going to be bearish. The reason this is a VSA is because the spread is super tiny and there's an incredible amount of volume. And so we took a VSA break here, or point of pain break, whatever you want to call it. A lot of shorts entered here is basically the gist of it. And so we took the break. And it broke above and gave us 10%. It was a pretty nice return. I stopped out right around here because the moment I get 10%, I cut at break even. And we left some money on the table, which is kind of upsetting. It squeezed all the way up to $5 after a little consolidation down here. If I had kept my 5% entry, I still would have been stopped out either way. So yeah, it was a nice entry. We could have gotten more, left some money on the table. But these things happen. It is what it is. So on Xena, we took a scalp trade. And the reason for this is because you go on the day chart and you can tell it's a pop and drop. So very often she'll pop and then go all the way back down. You can see this multiple times. It's a very common thing to happen on Xena. And so that's the reason why we took a scalp trade. And there's also another reason. This is a doji candle. And so a lot of traders like to take the breaks of doji candles. We did that. We took the 565 trade and we took 5%. Not terrible, but this is usually what happens. Market makers are very manipulative. And so what they'll do is they like to see traders enter and they'll short. And they made an incredible amount of money here. As you can see, a lot of them added up here. And they push the stock down. And they do this very, very often. So if you are a trader that takes trades off of doji candles and you get stopped out often, this is probably the reason why. Market makers want to take your money. That's what they do. And yeah, if you take a trade like this, be very careful. A lot of the times, if there's high volume, market makers will reverse and they'll get you. So on Tuesday, our first trade was KLTO. At 4 in the morning, she went from, what was this? $1.95 all the way to $2.88. 1 million volume. Incredible, incredible. That's an insane amount of volume. This was obviously the ticker to look at. She only had 16 million volume. 1 million or 16 million float. 1 million volume is very, very good. You always want to look at float. I like to trade anything under 20 million. And so, yeah, KLTO fit my criteria. It squeezed, gave us a rally, gave us a base. This is a strategy I like to call a rally base, fair value gap rally. And basically what happened was she didn't hit our entry. Sucks, right? Missed by 2 cents. Our entry was 286 to 278. But then she finally did hit. She hit all the way down here at 276, and I entered around 279. And then she squeezed up, gave us around, let me double check. I suck at math. I'm not going to do that in my head. That was 12%. So again, not a bad little squeeze there. After 10%, I always set my stop loss at break even, and I trim 50%. That's just my risk management strategy. You guys obviously do whatever you want. I find that this will always keep me in the green, and yeah, not a bad trade at all. On Tuesday, we only took 2 trades, and our second one was gels. We took another point of pain break, 307 to 335. It was basically 9%, but I said 10% because it was closer to 10 than 9. Again, I trimmed not at peak. It was like around right here, and I got stopped out at break even. So 10%, not bad. We got 10 and 12% on Tuesday. Obviously not ideal, but green is green, and we didn't lose. So that is a perfect day to me. And now we fast forward to Wednesday. Wednesday was a very interesting day. Pre-market sucked on Wednesday. But that being said, the sentiment didn't carry all day. Unfortunately, I didn't decide to trade after pre-market. And the reason was pre-market was slow. I had a very good day on Monday with OMH going 144%. So I was like, okay, I'll be fine. At 4 in the morning, we had VTAK, had the most volume, and it went up the most. And so we saw the resistance at 0.5 right here with a ton of volume. That's always something you want to look for. If it's resisting with a lot of volume, that means when it breaks, it'll go insane. And so it broke, but in my call, I had said wait for candle confirmation, 1 or 2 candles above, 2 if you want to be safe. And so it wasn't holding. It kept popping, didn't hold above. It held above right here and then went back down. You couldn't take that trade. And then at 7 in the morning, it finally broke. It held. And so I took a trade around 50.5 or 0.55. My stop loss was 5%. We didn't get stopped out, and we squeezed all the way up to 86 cents. Not bad. A 72% trade, a 1 trade day. I'll take that. So Thursday, I think we took 3 trades. Yeah, we did take 3 trades. We took a point of pain break on RSL or on SOAR. Gave us 10%. I didn't hold this trade, and I'll tell you why. There was a lot of tension. The time in sales was very, very mixed. I didn't want to risk it. I should have. I had an amazing week, so there was no reason at all for me to not hold this trade. And it gave 10%. I sold this at break even. Some of you guys held and got your money, and for that, I applaud you. Another trade we took was RSLS. This was a VSA bounce trade. This was just a consolidation phase that I knew was going to go crazy. And the way you can tell is normally at support, there will be VSAs. And if there's a VSA at support, it usually means price is going to go up after. So we had our consolidation here. There was a VSA right here. Again, volume spread analysis is part of Wyckoff theory. You should really, really study Wyckoff theory. I'd highly recommend it. It's what made Smart Money Concepts and ICT. So if you're into any of that, I recommend looking at the original. But that being said, my entry was 2.6. Went to 2.62. That's very annoying. I should have obviously taken a range. It was a bounce play. So with bounce plays, you always want to buy within a range, only because it won't always bounce off of the price you want. And so that being said, she squeezed all the way up to 413. But that being said, we took 3.5 right here, and we got 413 out of it for 18%. So that wasn't bad. That was our second trade of the day. Our final trade of Thursday was IPA. I went on the 1 day. Obviously, you want multi-time frame analysis, so that's basically just looking at multiple time frames to try and find an entry. Right here, I said 0.93 break, so obviously when it broke above this, it would have just gone past. and this was 0.92. So I just said the break of 0.93, safe entry, and we got 107 out of it. So we got around 15%. Not a bad trade whatsoever. And that concludes Thursday. And Friday was the big day. HUSA moved HUSA. I think RNBE, if I'm not mixing it up, moved insanely as well. We took USEG. This was the mover, early pre-market. She had a little VSA right here, and we took the bounce. Again, it was a 67% trade. It went all the way to 329. I genuinely thought she had way more. To be honest, like, it looked like as the moment she broke 360, she was flying. But that didn't happen. We never got that. And so Friday was an incredible day. We trimmed all the way up here, and yeah, very, very good day on Friday. We also took Icon, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, we did take Icon at 3.5, or yeah, $3.50. At what time was it? It was 7:40 in the morning. So right around here, we took this trade, and it wasn't a terrible trade. You know, we got around 5% out of it. I saw this candle go from here all the way down here. I trimmed the moment it went under this, and I cut at break even, and I also alerted to cut at break even, and that was a very good cut. Obviously, she didn't go past that again. So that was our weekly recap. Now, if you stayed through the entire video, thank you. I apologize for the amount I'm stuttering. Again, this is my first time ever doing this, so if you enjoyed the video, please like, please leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see. And I hope you guys have an amazing day.